So, take me back. Who are you?
Who am I? I am Jacob Harris. That's a vague question, Joe. Who wrote that?
That's some ass clown. It is crazy echoing here.
Echo. Should we move to another room?
No, this is good.
No, this is good, everybody. You're used to our bad audio by now. Take me back. Take you back. Well, I was born in 1997 in Montana.
Okay.
In an undisclosed barn surrounded by sheep.
And then the three wise men came.
And the three wise men came. I don't really know my father. It might be God. It's a little bit shaky out there in certain areas doing the genealogy. But I had basically some douchey older brother who sort of indoctrinated me into the world of video games.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Shared older brother. Not this. My older brother. It was sort of like think about like Metal Gear Solid 3. Like you have the boss, right? And the boss passes the bandana to Naked Snake. And the Naked Snake passes the bandana to Solid Snake. I am the Solid Snake in this equation. Okay. If that makes sense.
So what led you to create Carriage Way?
Well, it was a lot in part to working with you on stuff, working on projects. So
take me back. Who am I?
Who are you? All right. So Joe was born.
No.
Another son of God.
I thought you were son of dog.
Son of dog God. Common misconception.
Man, we got so many inside jokes, like
I know
ducking and weaving in between each other.
This interview was supposed to be a good jumping on point for fans, newcomers to Carriage Way, to learn more about us. But I guess it ends up being just kind of free form. This is who we are, really. But starting the channel, it was... okay, I think we started at January 1st, 2016, and you can go check that on like our About. It will tell you. But
right. But I remember sometime before that, you buying like the fancy mic, getting...
Oh, so fancy. Yeah. Can't you hear how fancy this microphone is, everybody?
It's not. It's a recording microphone, and I remember you bought all the capture equipment, and I was just being like really impressed. Yeah. But it kind of sat there for a while because we couldn't. Yeah. Kind of figure out a voice or what we were doing.
We definitely did some practice stuff. I guess I'm shaky on the timeline because I thought we started the channel as like, you came to me and were like, dude, I have this idea that we should start a YouTube channel. Okay. And like, that's how I remember it. And like, I was thinking, yeah, that's awesome. It'll be something for us to work on. We work on stuff. We talk about working on projects all the time. This will be a venue for us to learn YouTube things.
Yeah. Because I mean, it wasn't just going to be a Let's Play channel.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're still not just a Let's Play channel, but
predominantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want it to be a Let's Play channel at all. I wanted it to be like, I don't even know, like just something freeform, like cooking videos or whatever. Like I hated the idea of doing a Let's Play. I got a lot of anxiety about it. And I'm like, we did a practice stuff. Like I remember we were living in a different house. We don't live together now, but I was living in a different house, I guess I should say. And it was like, I just remember sitting in the living room, having it all set up, not really knowing how it worked, but being excited, practicing, capturing footage. I think maybe for the idea, like for reviews or something in my head. But we were even trying the Let's Play format, I guess, at that point, and it just wasn't turning out. Like our stuff sucked. Like I felt like the audio wasn't good, and I wasn't happy with any of it.
And we just, it sounded really stilted. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not sterling now, but I think we have a rapport. The more comfortable we are in front of the mic, it's the more we talk when we're just sitting down and playing video games without a mic.
But I mean, I also think now when we go to sit down and play video games without a mic, a lot of times we're still almost performing in a way where we're making jokes and like trying to like fill dead air, and it's like we can relax, you know, we can just like chill out and like talk about politics or whatever and not worry about posting it to the internet. But really, that's neither here nor there.
But you said, you know, why, you know, you didn't want a Let's Play channel, but why Let's Plays at all? You know, what was your inspiration for doing a Let's Play channel in the first place?
Yeah.
Was it Jacksepticeye?
Yeah.
Was it PewDiePie?
Top of the morning to you.
It
was that people thought I looked like PewDiePie. It was really the inspiration.
You do look weirdly like PewDiePie.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if this story's been told ever, but going to the Hmong New Year, which is just, Hmong is like people from Laos and part of China, and there's kind of a Hmong community here in Missoula, and they have a Hmong New Year every year, and we go. And some girls there were like giggling and laughing, and they're like little kid girls, and they're like, they come up to me and they're like, "Are you PewDiePie?" And I'm like, "What? No." Why would you think that? But they were like, I think me saying no and acting like, you know, keep it hush hush almost kind of no, like they got more excited and then like laughed even more and like ran away.
It's a local legend that PewDiePie winters in Missoula.
You only see him once a year. He comes, but yeah, I mean, but joking aside, getting into Let's Plays was just like a supreme love of video games, and thinking, I love the Game Grumps.
And I think that's where we were both introduced to the format.
Yeah.
Not that they were the first.
No.
But, you know, I think it's like, I like that. We like that dynamic, you know?
Yeah. And so like we knew that we weren't going to be as funny as the Game Grumps because, you know, Joe is dry. I'm pretty funny, but
so it'll be
Joe's
like
holding me back.
It'll be like that dynamic, the wise older guy and
the annoying,
the know nothing younger guy.
And that's what we were shooting for. No, we did some Let's Play stuff even on the channel. Like we played Suganai forever ago.
Oh yeah.
And I remember it being actually like kind of fun and funny or whatever. Like we laughed about like naked cheetah.
Did that actually go up?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
And there was like, you know, naked cheetah man or something that we were talking about. And,
okay.
And I was getting warmed up by that point because we had done a lot of practice stuff that never went up on the channel. We played Dark Souls, we played Jak and Daxter, we played a little bit of Dragon Warrior 7 and Legaia 2 before we did it with the guests.
Do you remember the very first game that we recorded?
Soul Blade, right?
Yeah, it was Soul Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we did a lot of stuff with recording that never went up because I was just so embarrassed by it. But I guess going into Suikoden 2, which was our first long-running Let's Play last year, was finally feeling like, okay, let's have a mission. Let's have a mission to be more analytical of a game than the Game Grumps, for the purpose of we want to be game designers, and we're going to go to one of our favorite games of all time for inspiration.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of was the motivation, and the thing that I think Joe pitched it to me and was like, can we do this Let's Play? And it's like, yeah, well, all right, we'll do it. I'll edit it. And you drew up those heads beforehand, the right. Rough heads. They were the sketchier heads that looked more like construction paper.
Right. It's funny, like I'd drawn up a bunch of them. Yeah. And yeah, you know, they only got, some of them only got used sparingly and most of them didn't get used at all.
Yeah, we'll have to post those to like Twitter for our 3 followers to see.
Yeah.
Go check us out on Twitter, by the way. It's in the description below.
So, you know, I think through the channel, we can see that like so much of it is about video games and video game culture. You know, what is it what was your first experience of video games that made you so passionate? Or what was the first moment when you knew this was a lifelong interest of yours?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been playing games since a wee babe. And although I don't remember all those games, I mean, I remember distinctly, like, PS1 was sort of like the earliest memories for me. You know, being born in 97, that was sort of the console we had, and PS2 shortly after. And I mean, we were still playing PS1 games even after PS2 came out.
We're playing PS1 games now.
Yeah. Check out Symphony of the Night.
I remember distinctly you being 3 years old. I think you were 3. And I was playing Final Fantasy VII, and you thought there were toys in the TV, and you were trying to reach in and grab the toys. And you were so mad that I wouldn't get you the toys out of the TV.
Yeah.
Like the little Cloud Strife running around.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's supremely adorable, I would say.
You must have been younger than 3. 2.
Yeah,
something.
3 seems like too old to be doing that.
Yeah, 3
I seem like a very maybe immature 3-year-old.
You grew up.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching Final Fantasy VII. I remember, I remember going to like Hastings and looking through like the rental.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rip Hastings, bro. Pour one out. And going through like the rental section, and I just remember like seeing, I was always very interested in like the Final Fantasy covers, and like seeing Final Fantasy VIII there, and like I just remember wanting to like always rent Final Fantasy VIII because I just love the cover so much for whatever reason.
We owned it.
I know. But like we would go there, and it's like, I mean, Joe, I'm a freaking, you know, toddler or whatever, and that's like my memory is like seeing the cover over and over of Final Fantasy VIII and wanting to get that for some reason to rent it.
Yeah.
And like, I still to this day haven't gone back and beat Final Fantasy VIII. But
you got to that final disc.
Yeah.
So I mean.
But the first real game that I fell in love with was Final Fantasy X.
So yeah,
PS2, and I beat that when I was 5, according to Joe.
Well, yeah, you were learning to read, and at the start of your playthrough of 10, you know, I had to help you, coach you through the menus. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, like, you were doing fine. And by the end, like, I didn't have to be there. Like, it was as you were learning to read. Mm-hmm. So, you know, congrats.
Thank you. And I still love Final Fantasy X, and it's one of my favorite games today. And that sort of genre, Japanese role-playing games, has always persisted as one of my favorites. And, I mean, that's really, like, the passion just kind of eventually, I think, came around. Yeah, around that time. I mean, probably around early 2000s, 5 years old. Because I remember being just wanting to come home from school so bad to play Jak and Daxter. And it became something that games were the thing that got me through the day of school, because I hated school, absolutely hated school. And that was the thing to look forward to.
Yeah, I remember those days with Jak and Daxter specifically. And, you know, I would get home from school, get home from college, and then we'd sit down and hang out and play video games. Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
And that's sort of where the love of video games came about. And the channel, when creating it, I think, even though I didn't see it as a Let's Play channel ever, I always did think something to do with video games would be really cool.
Yeah. But, you know, I think, you know, we're putting out some decent content. We're putting out regularly. Mm-hmm. You know, it seems like there are people who are liking it. They're watching it. You guys don't have to, by the way.
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
I never want people to feel obligated to.
We will still like you if you don't watch it. It's okay.
Yeah. But you know, I'm happy. Like, I feel like we've been doing it long enough that, you know, like your old friend Jackson, you know, shout out. You know, like, it's beyond a pity listen. I feel like, you know, you comment regularly. Jackson, speaking to you specifically.
Jackson.
And Jackson comments. He's one of our biggest commenter, really. Although we get other commenters too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love seeing it. I love seeing people watching us and finding that, we're worth their time for, even if it's just to fall asleep to.
Because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to listen to watch, to play. Like there's so many things pulling at your time of anybody nowadays that's flattering.
Yeah. And we definitely appreciate it. And be sure to go tell 3 friends about Carriage Way, and tell them to tell 3 friends, or they'll be cursed for 7 years.
Oh, I mean, of course.
And let's get...
we won't judge you, but no, karma will.
Karma will hate you.
Yeah, that's bad karma, bro. So, we're trucking along with the channel. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
3 years? What an arbitrary number, Joe. Where'd you come up with these numbers?
Yeah, I think I suggested a different number, but you wrote down 3.
Well, I think 3 is just a unique number, because everybody asks, where do you see yourself in 10 years or 5 years? Nobody asks, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Because it's like, who knows, right?
Yeah.
In 3 years, I see myself having published my first book. And that isn't, I don't feel like that's an unreasonable saying.
No, I mean, it's written like
it's written. I feel like I'll have gone back and revised it more by then. I mean, we'll see, because I kind of want to write a couple more to find solidify my voice a little bit more before going back. But I see it as a possibility. I see myself as being graduated from the University of Montana for the
as long as it doesn't close.
As long as it doesn't close. And I see myself being, realistically, I'll still probably be in the same town, but I'd love to go and live in Japan for a while.
That sounds exciting.
But if I'm living in Japan, everything's going to be like Skyped Let's Plays. Joe and I will be Skyping.
Yeah.
I don't know how we'll figure that out.
Maybe you find something else to occupy your time.
Yeah, maybe Let's Plays is in the future. It'll be made illegal, and
that's
maybe
a legitimate concern.
Yeah, we'll think of a future thing that we'll commentate on. I don't know.
I can see us, even if that happened, we'd still like to talk about video games and all sorts of different stuff. In fact, I know we've been talking about
actually making a game.
No, I mean actually making a game, but creating other content for the channel.
Oh yeah, check us out for that. Stay tuned. You'll get on our monthly podcast. It's our channel update podcast. You can check out, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it there, of things that we're doing, and we might have already done some of it by the time that rolls around. But anyway, this interview has gone a little bit long. Wanted it to be about 15 minutes. Spoiler, everybody. This is in part for a university assignment that I had to be interviewed. And I thought, hey, well, let's turn it into something for the channel and rank up some views.
All that money.
Just every view makes us pennies. We don't even make pennies.
No,
that's too much. That's an extrapolation.
No, we don't have ads.
We don't.
How would we get?
We don't even have that many. How many views do you need to get money?
There's probably YouTube.
Let us know in the comments below.
There are probably YouTube videos that explain that.
Probably, right? You would hope.
Yeah. Okay. You ready to sign off?
Yep.
Anything else you want to say?
No. Check back in. I will interview Joe with a similar quality of interview.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know when that will go up. Maybe next Sunday or something. But stay tuned for Carriage Way, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye, everybody.